Everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron. It's like right before we start this sounder, Mario, we're always talking about something else, and dude, all of a sudden I didn't realize that on
Yeah,
the phone right there. Someone's
yeah.
calling
Well,
the phone.
you said you had to get going, so
I
now
do. I got to drive
yeah,
to Phoenix. Yeah, I got to get
yeah,
out of here. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm doing an
Keep you on your
NFL tour.
feet.
I'm going to look at the Cardinals training camp. No, I'm not. I'm not. That's it. So look, I want to touch on this. We talked quarterbacks and everything else in the last show, and it got a little heated. Okay, we
Yeah.
all obviously have our opinions and tiers and everything else. Do you take anything back, Mario, Josh, about where you stand, or do you sit there and go, you're happy with your list? I love that people jumped in, by the way, on YouTube and commented on what we did and where we ranked guys and where we thought guys should be. But it's funny, places I went since the show, I had people get on me, and the person that got on me most about was Josh Allen. People thought I was too tough on Josh Allen, that I make too much at turnovers. Am I right that you have to protect the ball? Like, turnovers are a major thing. I was surprised that Josh Allen was really the one that I heard probably 3 or 4 times when I was out.
What's the difference between Josh Allen and Kirk Cousins? What's the difference?
See, for me, Kirk Cousins is disappointing because Kirk Cousins shows up in 90% of the games, except when they matter. Then he turns into a whole different person, like someone's wearing his uniform. And then Josh Allen's the same guy to me every game. He's exciting and he's big and he's strong. He's everything else, but he turns the ball over all the time. Like, if I was a Bills fan, I'd really be nervous that is this the drive where things implode?
Yeah, I mean, I watched his quarterback last night, episode 3, where he fumbles the ball in his own end zone, and the Vikings recover. They go to overtime. They end up losing. He's to me, he's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins just sucks the whole big game. Josh Allen just sucks the fourth quarter of the big game. So that's the difference, I guess. But Josh Allen, I don't think we're too tough on him. And if your question to me earlier was, am I affected by the people going after me on YouTube in the comments? I'm not affected. Okay, I'm not.
You don't cry?
So
You don't cry
I
in your
actually
pillow?
appreciate it. No, I don't cry on my pillow. I know I think it's Robert on YouTube went after me. It's fine. I'm glad he listens to the show.
That's it.
Yeah.
If he
I don't care
comments
that
again,
people agreed with you. Yeah, I don't care if people agreed with you or not. I mean, somebody has to agree with you eventually. So
Eventually, things have to go my way.
Dave, Well, here's the thing. So I'll push back, dude. I think Josh Allen's light years ahead of Cousins, like light years. I just think it's he's Peyton Manning right now. Just hasn't really gotten the big deal. He hasn't hit the 06 year where they all figure it out and suddenly they're really good. I will say this for anyone that thought Dave was correct. I don't really trust your intelligence. And I like that. If you comment 3 mean things in a row, you get a phone number. Yeah, I like that. Full spin zone. 3 mean things equals a phone number. And then you can really ramp it up, whatever you want to say. We're 3 good chirpers. So if you don't dish out the heat if you can't take the fire.
Is that the term?
I don't know.
Nothing to do with heat and kitchen or anything like that? That's all right.
It's all right.
Starting things good. There we go.
August
All right.
7th.
So look, let's go into a little bit of Charger football right here as we're getting closer to the first, preseason game. And the talk always is preseason. Do you get excited about football in the preseason? As I said on the last show, I was excited just to see NFL teams on the field again. You like seeing the logos. You like seeing everything that gets you excited that it's going to be fantastic, right? Going basically September through February. And it feels like everything in the world is right again. When the NFL is going on, it's a little bit more exciting. Your weekends are a little bit better. And there's something to, again, always look forward to. So preseason coming up for the Chargers. And always the question is, how much do you want to see guys play in the preseason? And preseason has, changed a lot over the years. And I think Sean McVay honestly had a lot to do with this. When Sean McVay wouldn't play anyone that was a starter on the Rams. And then you've seen more and more teams start to do it. If you're a season ticket holder, you know this already. And it's very frustrating. They charge you as much for a preseason game as they do for a regular season game. And you get frustrated. It's part of your ticket package. What are you going to do? You're just not going to get season tickets if you've always been a season ticket holder. But it always does feel like a ripoff, right? That when you're watching preseason games, you don't even know what you're watching for, and you don't recognize most of the guys on the field. For the Chargers, for a team with question marks, what would you guys do if you were running the Chargers? How many times would you see starters out on the field in preseason?
I have a very strong opinion on this. So maybe I'm going too far, but the Chargers have like 5 guys that are somewhat hurt already.
Yeah.
Does that not bother you guys at all? Like, what the hell are we doing? It's every year this happens, and they're starting early this year with 5 guys that are already missing practice: J.C. Jackson, Rashawn Slater, Quentin Johnson. Maybe they're not bad injured because I don't think they are, but still, I would wrap these guys in bubble wrap, and I wouldn't play them at all because I don't trust that they're not going to get hurt. And that's just the Chargers. And if you're a different team, maybe you have a different way of looking at it. But the Chargers need to keep these guys healthy as long as possible, because it is the Chargers' luck for us to lose like 1 or 2 guys in preseason for a long time. So I wouldn't play them that much, at least.
I honestly agree with you a lot, Josh. I was just reading a couple articles from the Athletic today, and obviously you mentioned it, Dave. There's a huge importance or a huge sway of things when McVay kind of came on the scene, and there was like 1 to 2 guys on the depth chart you didn't play. I mean, there was more guys not playing than playing, like on the sideline. And suddenly this year, I believe he was caught saying on Saturday to his team, we haven't decided exactly, but we've got to get guys ready to go. There's a lot of players on his team that haven't had an opportunity to suit up and play real tackle football that we're going to be counting on against Seattle. So it's kind of crazy to see like the head coach that was against all of this kind of swing a little bit back in that direction, but also makes sense with the team he has. When it comes to the Chargers, Josh, you couldn't be more spot on. I mean, my Lord. The Chargers have the worst injury luck of all time. When I'm seeing in camp that we had Pipkins get out and then we had Slater get out, it's just like it just gives you anxiety. It's just like, this is nervousome. I don't like this. Look, I get it that you don't want your players to be, I guess not warmed up heading into week 1, but at the same time, we're in a Super Bowl title window. We're in an all-in window. Sit them all. Like, I'm on the boat of sit them all. I don't care. Give the guys that earn a roster spot, give them the full time. Give them everything they need. Give them every play, every snap. I don't care. I don't want to see Herbert on the field. I do not want to see Herbert. I sure as hell don't want to see Eckler. I don't want to see Williams. I don't want to see Allen. I don't want to see any of those guys. Keep them all away. Put ice packs all over the body, even if they don't have it. I don't know, bulletproof vest, bubble wrap. Do it. Run them through it. Like, I don't care.
I'm with you guys. Look, I can add to that list. I don't want to see Bosa on the field. I don't want to see J.C. Jackson on the field. I don't want to see Khalil Mack on the field. I don't want to see any of those guys on the field. And I'm not a big fan of preseason. I think it's really ridiculous for the fact you're only trying to finalize the 53. So just play the guys that are going for the spots of 53, right? I mean, you do the minimum amount to sit there and play those guys. Why take a chance? I mean, Bosa's out till December last year, and why would you take a chance of injuring Bosa? Why would you take a chance of Khalil Mack, who's older than dirt, of getting him hurt? Rashawn Slater's getting his work every day against Bosa in practice. I mean, that should be one of the top players he's going to go against. So when you look at teams that say, well, they got to get their work in, not exactly. Colleges don't play preseason games, and yet they might not look completely as good as they do in week 1 as they do in week 10. But, man, it's what it is. If it's fair for everybody, you just start and go. The players already in the NFL are upset about the 17-game schedule. Just think it's too long. But the preseason is insane. I'm all for if you were to go to the players union and say, hey, no more preseason forever, but we're going to have an 18-game schedule. You add 1 more game and just get rid of preseason. But you're seeing guys already who have gotten hurt. Joe Burrow got hurt in his own practice, right? To the point where they don't know when he's coming back. You look at what Tim Patrick of the Broncos, he's out for the entire year again, and they don't know when he's coming back, if he's ever going to come back to the NFL. That's now 2 leg injuries back-to-back years. The best preseason that people don't get to see or actually they don't make money off of is when teams work out against each other. For example, let's say the Colts invite the Packers down or the Chargers match up with the Rams. That's when things get a little bit crazy. I mean, we see it on Hard Knocks, right? That's when tempers fly and they know the fines aren't coming, and there's some crazy stuff that happens in those. But that's high speed, fight for your city stuff. Man, it's hot out here. I want to hit somebody besides somebody that I'm changing clothes with or showering with. That's when it's pretty good. But those preseason games that are on TV are joke. They aren't entertaining, and I'm done with them. I mean, it is a waste of time. I say that now, but I'm not going to lie. I have it on my phone and I have it on my desk notes to know exactly when the Chargers are playing. Like I will watch. I'm a hypocrite. I will watch.
Which guy are you most looking forward to seeing if you do watch the preseason? Is it Thule? Is that the guy that you're looking for?
I'm looking at Tully. All right, so I just cut Mario off. But Mario, here you go. Know
You're
what I'm
good.
looking at, Mario? I really kind of want to see what the offense looks like. And I know Kellen Moore's not going to show you what you're going to see in week 1. I got it. But I just want to see it look different. We're all so frustrated watching the offense go the wrong way. Like if you watch the Chargers offense with Lombardi, you would have swore Lombardi thought the end zone was where the sidelines were. He was going the wrong guiding direction. Like he had vertigo or something. We had an offensive coordinator had vertigo and literally was
okay.
okay.
First off, unders are so nice. Unders and Ravens to cover or win are so nice in the preseason every single time. Second of all, I love the little guy, and I love the guys trying to make roster. And I love seeing I think it's very fun to watch a preseason game and go, that's whoever from Ohio State in 2014. Do you remember how good he was in college? I love playing that game, or seeing someone you played football with growing up and they played at a MAC school and then they're going for that spot. I love stuff like that. I think that's a very fun thing to do. And I want to give those guys a chance to make the roster, make the team, and really live their NFL careers and live out their dream. So I'm a big fan of the preseason. I really, really do love it. And secondly, I always tune in because I love awful football at the same time, love making money. And for Saturday against the Rams, I'm excited for a little Max Duggan. That's what I'm pretty pumped for. See how little Maxie Daxie does it up there and down there in
Max
LA.
against Stetson Bennett. Looking forward to seeing that again.
That's a tool, baby. That's a tool. By your standards, that's the 2 next MVPs because we always count college.
Son of a bitch. All right.
That's a cue out.
Is that just gonna keep going all the way through? Then you're gonna hold on to that forever? All right, that's fine.
You have no idea.
Okay. I have an idea. So Josh, when you talk about preseason, all right, because Hard Knocks starts as we do the show on a Monday. Hard Knocks starts tomorrow night. Okay.
Mhm.
This is where we all found out about that linebacker for the Lions that no one ever heard of before, right? And the personality came out, and you're going, okay, if it wasn't for Hard Knocks and it wasn't for preseason, we would have never known his story. Now we pay attention all the time to just see what is he doing out there because he was such a star last year in Hard Knocks.
Yeah, no, I love Hard Knocks. Before you joined, I was talking to Mario about how I'm hyped about it going tomorrow. I think the storyline between Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers is super, super entertaining. I didn't realize how much Sauce Gardner and Aaron Rodgers hated each other last season. I guess I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't either.
The beef that they had, and now they're teammates. If they talk about that in the show at all, I've always been a Hard Knocks guy. I'm just going to ask you guys random questions off the cuff all show, I guess. What is your favorite Hard Knocks and least favorite Hard Knocks of all time?
Ooh,
that's funny.
Easy.
I'm going to give you my least favorite. The COVID Chargers Rams was
true.
weak.
That was awful.
It was super weak.
You're right.
My favorite Hard Knocks, dude, there's a lot of good ones. Do you guys have an answer?
There's always a storyline on all of them to me that kind of stands out. For when you look at Ryan with the Jets, he kind of knew, he was Mr. Red light camera guy, and he kind of did. Dude, just listen to him saying, "Let's go get a snack" after every time he talked to the team was freaking hilarious. But I don't know if you guys ever use it in your day-to-day life with your friends or something. You do something and then you just go, "Let's go get a GD snack," and some of your friends will get it, some of your friends won't get it. But it's always funny to end the conversation with that because half the guys will look at, what the hell is he talking about? But when you see a big fat guy say, "Let's go get a snack," it's so funny to me. I don't know, that the Jets one was pretty good. I think the Jets were on twice, if I'm not mistaken. But then the Bengals one, so. There's some that are so where it's over and you're going, come on, we all want to see the guys get cut, don't we? That's how you want to see when they say bring your playbook. I hate to say it, but that's the drama of it, right? It's like watching a movie where someone's going to get murdered at the end of the movie. You're like, I just want to see when the bad guy gets murdered. And
so that's a you thing.
Oh, so come on, dude. Thing. You're a mafia guy like me. You like the mafia movies. When it's coming. You're like, all right, come on. What's the best part of The Godfather? When the music starts going and they knock out 5 families at one time. Dude, Hard Knocks is like that. Bring your playbook. That's basically what they're saying in The Godfather. Hey, bring your playbook.
Yeah. But it's a ticket to hell.
Go ahead, Mario. What's your favorite? What's your least favorite?
I agree with you, Josh. The COVID one, they just couldn't get any stories out of it. and it sucked the way it was framed. And like they tried and they failed. And that was 2 teams too that like I wish they could go back and like retry because there's so much storyline there. Like and like now it would be 10 times better. There's moments that stick out to me right away when it was the Browns and it was Hugh Jackson meeting with all of his coaches, and every single coach didn't approve of his plan. And he's just telling them, when you sit in this seat, you can make that decision. And then he's on ESPN begging for a job 2 months later. I'm like, this is beautiful. So that cracks me up. That was amazing. John Gruden, piece of crap, awful person. Not a big fan.
Wood if you're with me, right?
Yeah, not going with me was great. And then the best is, dude, he had a great line when I was watching with my dad, and my dad started dying laughing. But it was, we're gonna need better execution. And then he just gets really angry. He goes, better execution. I love that. Like, that killed me. So those 2 moments. And by the way, if you're wondering how bad Hugh was at the Browns, 3-36-1 record. So maybe he should have listened to his coaches because the plan didn't work.
Yeah, he's up there with Nathaniel Hackett as like the worst coach ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's horrible.
It's interesting. I think all of us have watched enough of these, and we've all, played sports, not at that level, but right away when a team has no chance because of their coach, right? You can tell by the way they control the room, by what they're doing. You just know he's gone. And I always say, the NFL's not for long, but you knew with Hugh Jackson, like, dude, you are on the Titanic. You were leading right into that iceberg. We all know what's happening. Like, you're the last one to see it, but you are not meant for this job. Like, there's head coaching material. You are not head coaching material. It doesn't matter that you've been in the league for 30 years. Your role is not this. It is very funny. And then once in a while you get a coach. Like, I'm still not, I'll be honest with you, I'm not so sure I'm sold on Dan Campbell. I only think it goes so far. The reason I say that, I watched him with Miami. Okay, Josh, I'll ask you. I mean, you played with the greatest college coach of all time in Nick Saban. Okay. I used to ask you questions all the time about what happened today and what did you learn? I used to tell Josh all the time, you should take notes. I mean, there's stuff that you could put into a book about my years with Nick Saban, because Josh used to say you learn something every day. The motivation thing only goes so far. It gets old, man. And especially when you're dealing with guys who are in their early 20s, where you're sitting and you go, all right, dude, rah guy starts to run out. I mean, Marty Schottenheimer's spiel got old with Charger guys when they went from age 22 to 27. I can't tell you how many guys told me, dude, they got to get rid of Marty. This is even after the 14-2 season. They got to get rid of Marty. It's old. And then when they matured into their 30s, 40 years old, those same guys have told me, I didn't realize what I had until he was gone, and realized that Marty was as good as he was, and how it translated. Didn't matter what age you were, but at 27 years old, 28, many of those Charger players tuned him out and just got tired of it. Dan Campbell, I don't know how good he is with X's and O's as far as, winning games, but he is a big rah-rah guy. And I always think the rah-rah thing kind of wears out when you're a pro making more money than your head coach.
I don't think X's and O's are so important when you're the head coach. I think you do need to be more of that rah-rah guy to get guys ready to play. You have an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator to do the X's and O's. I'm so impressed by guys like Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh, that can motivate grown men year after year, stay at the same franchise. Like you said, people tune you out.
Yeah.
The big advantage Nick Saban has is guys are out in 4 to 5 years. That's why his coaches leave. They cannot take it for that long. I mean, you got to get a new cycle of guys in there to motivate them. That's why I don't think Nick Saban worked with the Dolphins. I read his book because I was interested in how that went down. And the Dolphins players tuned him out. The greatest college coach of all time, and the NFL guys couldn't take it anymore. I like Dan Campbell. I really liked him on Hard Knocks. It's actually one of my favorite seasons of Hard Knocks. Why do you think they would tune him out? I think he's right there with Mike Vrabel as a motivator.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I look at what happened with the Dolphins. I know it was a short story, and then he was out. Maybe players looked at him as he's not the permanent guy, so he's going to be out anyway, and it just didn't last. It lasted for about 3 games. With the Lions, I'm kind of curious to know how it goes the next couple of years. And not just from the quarterback position, but I think a bunch of guys. How long does it go that he's able to motivate and keep these guys going? Let's be honest. We always talk about the Chargers, how we always get the short end of the stick, that whether it's injuries or scheduling or just losing 27-0 leads in the playoffs, whatever it is, the Chargers always fall apart. The Lions are the Chargers squared. right? I mean, there isn't
Yeah.
a franchise. I mean, literally, the Lions and Cardinals should just play one full season of 17 straight games, and that should be the Super Bowl because one of those teams needs a break. It's insane how the Detroit Lions are an absolute joke. And Mario, I know you have family in Detroit, and you're closer to that team in that division, but man, talk about a jinxed franchise. That Lions franchise is a joke. Their two best players over the last 30 years, both retired in their prime, just couldn't take it anymore. Right,
Dude,
Megatron and Barry Sanders says, "F this, I am out. I can't take it."
I don't think there's a worse sports town at the current moment than the city of Detroit. Tigers suck. Pistons are not good. They love the Red Wings up there. Red Wings aren't like back by any means. Yeah, they're not very good. They were still up hurt that they didn't get the number 1 pick, Connor Bernard, this past year. Cursed franchise. The Dan Campbell thing I want to circle back to. I think he's as good as you mentioned it, Josh. The coaching staff, your DC, your OC, their coordinators all came back and they could have easily left for jobs. Easily left. So they all came back. So I think this year it's not going to be a test of how good of a coach he is. It's honestly at the end of this year when I'm going to guess that his OC gets a coaching job. I'm going to guess his DC leaves. I'm going to guess some other position guys go. That's when I'm like, okay, how good of a coach are you really? And what is your culture that you have there? And like, where can you kind of go from there? But the tuning out's a real thing. I mean, that happened to Brad Stevens at Boston Celtics. Like when people were like, I don't know why he's leaving. He's had so much success. It's like, dude, he's been there for 8+ years with a very similar message. And that message is going to get old with these guys because they're like, hey, we're winning, but we're like also stalling. So it's not like you're a bad coach, but just someone else needs to come there and talk. Like you make an argument. That's what happened with Andy Reid in Philly. Like great coach. The message just died. Like it's just one of those things. You didn't win the big dance, so your message just begins to die. And that's not any thing bad on them as a coach or anything like that. It's just a matter of the fact. I would hate to see Campbell suck and like go away because I think he's really funny. He's very, very entertaining. I think he could I'm looking forward to a day when one of his players like gets a fight on the field and then like he goes in and we kind of just see like a little gladiator thing going on. Like I would love to see what that guy would look like just in an octagon.
Okay, that's another thing.
Jake Paul.
Does it bother you? Does it bother you when your head coach is in too good a shape? Meaning that you always hear about these coaches that don't go home and they sleep on the couch for 3 hours because all they're doing is football and they're on the verge of having a heart attack. It's like John Madden or Dick Vermeil, and then they have to just retire because they're giving everything they can. But then you got Dan Campbell over here. Looks like he's ready to jump in the octagon. Like, dude, how much work are you doing? Because we know you have time to go in that weight room. Like let's see the coach a little bit with the gut.
I don't know.
Right? Dude, no. It's a lot of think about it. It's a lot of time, man. He's at least putting 2 hours in the weight room every day.
No, because there's nothing that pissed me off more in high school and in college than running and the fat coach yelling at you, telling you to keep going. Yeah. I'm like, really? You're going to keep putting those donuts in your mouth then? You can't even stand out here the whole damn time. You got to bring a chair.
Yeah. What coaches you say you do them, I count them. Dude, look at Belichick. Belichick's like, F it. It's summer, but I'm so busy. I don't even have time to change my shirt. Someone just cut my sleeves off. I mean, that's the kind of coach where you go, I'm all in. I don't even have time to change my shirt. It's just hot, so cut my sleeves off. Crazy. Like whoever saw a sweatshirt that was short sleeves before Belichick. Freaking insane.
How many coaches are in good shape, right? Robert Saleh looks like he could kick some ass. Mike Vrabel looks like he definitely kicks some ass. Those are two good coaches. Brandon Staley looks like he somewhat works out. Zach Taylor.
McVay
definitely works out.
LaFleur, I'm pretty sure, is pretty jacked.
Yeah.
Let's rank the hottest coaches in the NFL.
Oh, that's funny as hell. Dude, the guy who's the head coach for you, like, dude, there's no way, right? It's the Dolphins coach, right? You look at the Dolphins coach, you're like, dude, this guy got pushed in a locker his entire life. Now he's running an NFL franchise.
Yeah, right? His sound bites are a little weird.
He is a little weird.
NFL Network, whenever they do his sound bites, he's kind of cringy. I don't know, man. He just must be really smart. But yeah, he definitely was never like a big time athlete. Sean McVay actually won. Was it Calvin Johnson? He won player of the year over.
He beat Calvin Johnson out for Georgia State Player of the Year. And his wife's smoking hot. He has to stay in shape just to keep her. Come on, please. It's motivation there. Can't just go around and walking in and out of the house like Tomlin and stuff with the giant cross and going, this is good enough. I better look good. Come on. You got to stay in shape.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Hey, what do you guys think about? Sorry, what do you guys think about John Gruden helping out with the Saints? I didn't see that coming.
That is weird, man. That whole thing. I want to touch on that Gruden thing because you always heard that Gruden hated Carr, right? That he wanted him out, and then Carr pulled a genius move and moved right next door to him in Vegas. Got the house right next to him. It's like they push trash cans out. What's going on, John? And he's rolling his eyes like this guy. God, I got to deal with him at work. And I don't even like him at work. Doing the best I can to find the next quarterback. Now he's living next to me. And now here he is with Carr with New Orleans. That whole thing is kind of strange.
Hey, Russell Westbrook pulled that move with LeBron. Bought the house right next
It's true.
door.
Dude, Zach Wilson just did it with Aaron Rodgers in Nashville. Right?
That's weird. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Franklin, so weird.
Yeah. He went and got a house right by him. Go, dude, not only want your backup and I want your job, I'm going to live right in your neighborhood. You're going to see me all the time, even on during the off season.
Maybe they like to cuddle.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants him around. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want anybody around. Aaron Rodgers yells at his shadow. There's no way he's okay with Zach Wilson living in his neighborhood.
No, definitely not. John Gruden thing is weird because, like you said, I didn't think they liked each other that much, or John Gruden didn't like him. I didn't know John Gruden was allowed to be back in the NFL.
I didn't,
but I guess it was like you're allowed to come back. I don't know how that works.
Who's paying that contract?
It looks like he's doing it for free. He's just an advisor.
But he's still getting paid by Raiders.
Hold on a second. I don't know about that. So when you get fired for cause, it's different. So remember Gruden, when he signed that 10-year contract with the Raiders, he signed the contract where he got paid the majority of the contracts when the team moved to Vegas. He didn't want to get California taxed. Remember, he took like nothing when they were the Oakland Raiders. And then he knew when they went to Nevada, I can keep a lot more of my money if the contract doesn't kick in until the team moves to Vegas. So I don't know how much money Gruden really got. I mean, it's not like Gruden's knocking on a door asking for cans of soup. But my point is, I don't know if he got the money that he signed for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could
the Saints are making noise in free agency, and then the John Gruden thing. I just see the Saints a lot this week of people they're trying to add on and I don't know. Maybe they think they were going to be good this year.
Okay, so speaking of that, I want to try and pull up the Saints schedule as we're talking here. Someone approached me on this the other day because I said that I thought the Philadelphia Eagles might have the best chance of going 17-0. If one team was going to go undefeated, it was going to be the Eagles because their tough games basically are at home. And then someone said to me, the best, Damari, I'm throwing this at you because you're the only guy that lives in a state where you can actually gamble. Actually, Josh, you can gamble in Tennessee, right? So they were saying to me, you're missing the Saints. The Saints will have the best record in the NFL this year.
Were they on crack? Were they on crack?
Well, I'm going to throw the games at you, and you tell me the games that they aren't supposed to win. Okay? You ready? I know we didn't think you guys were getting into Saints football, but I'm going to throw this at you because, Mario, we always talk wagering. First game is against the Titans at home. Who's favored in that game?
Has to be the Saints.
Saints, right?
Saints.
Yeah,
next game, it's at Carolina. Bryce Young's second game.
It's going to be the Saints again.
It's going to be the Saints again. Next game at the Packers, out on the road.
Should be the Saints.
It should be the Saints, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the Buccaneers at home.
Saints.
Should be the Saints. You have the Patriots on the road. You hate Mac Jones, Mara. Who's favored? You think they lose?
Dude, I think they lose. I could easily see them losing against I could easily see them losing at Green Bay as well. And like Titans could be a close game. I mean, it's -3 spread against the Titans. That's not a easy spread.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna give you a couple more here. Here we go. At the Texans, CJ Stroud, Saints favored. They have the Jags at home. That's a primetime game. They have the Colts on the road. They have the Bears at home. They have the Vikings on the road. That's a tough one. They have the Falcons on the road. They have the Lions at home. They have the Panthers at home. They have the Giants at home. They're at the Rams. They have the Buccaneers on the road, and then they finish with the Falcons at home.
They might be scheduled.
That's what I'm saying. They might be right where they're saying the Saints could be the team with the best record in the NFC when it's all said and done.
Dennis Allen as a head coach, you should never, ever trust in your whole freaking life. You don't know if Michael Thomas, how healthy he's going to be. That's Derek Carr is an average QB. Yes, in these games, like they're not playing against top tier QBs or anything like that. But you also got a lot of good head coaches too. Mike Vrabel is a coach of the year candidate. LaFleur, if the Packers go over 500 and Jordan Love makes a little bit of an improvement, you can't tell me he's not in for coach of the year. You have a six-time Super Bowl coach that you're going to face on October 8th in the Patriots. Jaguars are probably going to be the second best team in the AFC record-wise because of how bad their division is and how advanced their team is. Oh, and a Super Bowl winning coach. Then you face Vikings. O'Connell is pretty far ahead of his game. Some people are really high on the Falcons. Falcons are one of the better run games in the league. You know,
Desmond Ritter sucks.
Desmond Ritter sucks, but they have a hell of a running back room. And then you have the Lions, who I know we talked about it earlier, but like, dude, that's a playoff team as well. And let's just say McVay turns Rams into something this year. That could be an easy loss for them too. Do not bet anything. I'm begging people, do not bet anything on the Saints this year. Like, I am really, really, really low on the Saints. Kamara's suspended for the first 3 games. I know you have Jamal Williams, and that's actually a really talented roster, but Dennis Allen's not a good head coach. I will die on that hill. You can put the knife in my heart right now. Or you can put it in my leg. Maybe die slow, but I'll die on that hill.
You mentioned Mario.
You pick games, don't you go by?
Sorry, you go. What were you going to say?
Oh, did he freeze now?
Yeah,
No, just saying, when you pick games, don't you guys pick by quarterback and head coach? Don't you go by quarterback and head coach?
I definitely do. I'm with Mario.
Like, I'm looking at Carr.
Coach. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here you go. With quarterback wise, the only quarterbacks that I think are better than Carr in the teams they face are Jacksonville, but that game's at home for the Saints. Primetime game. We know the Saints are going to go crazy on October 19th. And then you look at Jared Goff's probably better than Carr. Do you guys agree with that one?
And that
Kirk
system,
Cousins
yeah.
is better.
Kirk Cousins. They only see 3. Oh, Stafford is probably better. And that game's in LA. I mean, they might win.
Yeah.
They might lose 3-4 games. I mean, who saw that? And then get smoked in the playoffs. But they could get smoked.
Any team out of that division is getting smoked. Like, even if it's not the
I
Saints,
agree.
if it's the Falcons, if it's somehow the Bucs, somehow the Panthers, they're gonna get smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 2 guys I was talking about was Anthony Barr and Kareem Hunt. Those are the 2 guys that they're talking to. If they had those 2 guys, I mean, you're talking about a running back room with Jamal Williams, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt. That's right there towards the top of the league. Defensive line, they're really good. They got about 4 Pro Bowl players, 4 Pro Bowl level players on defense, about 3 more on offense. They have a good roster, but that team overall isn't very good. The head coach is terrible. Derek Carr, nobody knows what he is. Michael Thomas, is he ever going to play football again? There's a lot of question marks with the Saints, but I do like where you're coming from with saying they could win like double-digit games.
This wasn't my idea. It was someone who stopped me on Saturday who said, "Hey, I watched your show and you guys were pushing the Eagles like crazy. You know, you guys are missing the Saints." And I was like, "The Saints?" And then I went and looked it up and I was like, yeah. Pretty good argument.
The difference is the Saints aren't actually a really good football team. The Eagles are right there as the best team in the league. We're talking about it in our group chat. They just add 2 more great defensive players. How many good players are on the Eagles? It's like they don't play at the salary cap over there. It's unbelievable.
Dude, it pisses me off, man. I'm trying not to cuss right now, but I'm like, when Miles Jack all of a sudden signs, I'm like, why isn't Miles Jack a Charger? The guy went to UCLA. Like, talk about come on home. You know, and maybe there's Steeler fans out there will say, dude, you don't know what Miles Jack is. You guys are making a big mistake. You're thinking of Miles Jack when he had his good years in Jacksonville. But to me, Miles Jack is a guy that I would have loved to have seen in a Charger uniform.
Why would you not sign him?
What?
Yeah, why would you not sign him? What do we have?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Zach Cunningham. Anybody that's not familiar with Zach Cunningham, by the way, they're both backups at this point in time. That's how good that defense
is.
Zach Cunningham. That's not people aren't familiar. He used to lead the league in tackles. That guy can play too. He was on the Titans recently, but why wouldn't the Chargers sign Miles Jack? They just brought back Eric Kendricks. He's a California guy. Bring back Miles Jack.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, very, very frustrating. I don't know, because I think as I said, we started the show with talking about injuries and talking about depth and something the Chargers need. Plus, you look at the guys that you're talking about. When you look at Zach Cunningham and you're going, what was Tranquil for us? Zach Cunningham would have been a perfect guy to have on the roster.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. Hey, real quick, I want to touch on this because it's the only time of the year that we can actually do it. We're talking about coaches and which coaches do this and that. Don Coryell, Charger coach, finally got in the Hall of Fame. Okay, and
Woo!
it's one of those things, Mario. No joke, has been a storyline in San Diego forever about how is he not in the Hall of Fame, and people don't know. I think he's the only guy. I know he's the first guy to win 100 games in college and 100 games in the NFL as a head coach. But his offense was so far above of what everyone else was doing. It used to be such a running league that the Chargers were the first team to adapt to it. Now, of course, it didn't equal in championships because the Chargers defense sucked, but the offense was extremely fun to watch. And as a kid growing up, I used to not understand the game very much, but I used to just like to watch teams that scored a lot of points, because when we all went in the backyard and you played with your friends, you didn't practice handoffs. We were all throwing the ball, right? You cover that guy, I'm all-time quarterback, and then we're going to throw the ball around in the backyard. It was always throwing, and the Chargers are the only team in the NFL that were doing it. And so with Dan Fouts and Kellen Winslow and Charlie Joyner, and goes on and on, John Jefferson, Wes Chandler, this was all the offense that Don Coryell came up with, which basically turned into the offense that Bill Walsh copied, that turned into the Super Bowls for the Niners, that other teams copied. And it was Coryell that changed the league more than anyone else. So they used to say all the time, when's Coryell getting in the Hall of Fame? And this was an argument in San Diego forever. And it drove me crazy. I mean, literally, I'd say, stop it already. I'm tired of this argument. He's never going in. Well, he finally got in. He passed away, and his daughter was there and got him in. It was pretty emotional to watch. I don't know if you watch any of the speeches and stuff, but it was cool to see Don Coryell finally get his due. Unfortunately, wasn't alive by the time he went in. The other one was, speaking of the Hall of Fame, was Zach Thomas was good. I don't know if you guys saw Zach Thomas.
Recognize him.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I've been in the same room with Zach Thomas. He is so small, stature-wise, short, height-wise, I should say. You know, he's thick. He's built like a block, but he's so small. You're like, holy cow, how's this guy as good as he is? But when he brought up Junior Seau, was pretty cool, and how awesome it was that he brought up Junior and what he meant to his career in the short time they played with each other in Miami. But Zach used to come out to San Diego all the time for Junior's charity events and everything. They were very close. I thought it was cool that he mentioned Junior in Canton, Ohio.
Hey, I have a question for you. Does it bother you when somebody gets into the Hall of Fame and they're not alive? Like, why don't we celebrate this guy when why does it take so long?
I hate just thinking the same thing. I was just thinking the same thing. I can't stand it.
I hate it. And not saying they shouldn't be. And it's like, and Tony Gwynn used to say this all the time when a guy doesn't get in first ballot. Well, he's not coaching any more games. He's not playing in any more games. The numbers never change. So either he's a Hall of Famer or he's not a Hall of Famer. It's such an insult to me, to the family, to put someone in after they pass. And I don't know if they had to choose one or the other. Either they go in after he passes or he doesn't go in at all. I got that. But, man, come on. How do you not sit there and put him in the Hall of Fame when you deserve to go in the Hall of Fame? You changed the game. You completely have this passing game that we see nowadays, and we went through it a couple weeks ago about how many guys don't even run for 1,000 yards in a season. That was Don Coryell that changed this whole thing. And for it to take this long, you know what? The people that don't like Don Coryell will say, well, he didn't go to the Super Bowl. He lost the AFC Championship game to the Bengals, and they just weren't a Super Bowl team. It's an insult to the family, man. If I was his daughter or his grandkids, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I'd be super pissed. Super, super pissed. Yeah. But he deserves it, man. Good for him and his family. I mean, he's not here, but good for him and his family that he got it.
Well, now he's everywhere, Josh.
The funniest story about that guy, they used to always say that his wife would give him the trash to take the trash out. So don't forget, take the trash out at the end of the driveway. And he would drive all the way to the stadium, Jack Murphy Stadium, and forget that he had the trash in the car because he'd be so focused on the game plan. And people would get in his car to go to lunch with him and go, it smells like hell in here. They turn around and the garbage would be in the trash, just baking in the hot sun. And then, what are you doing? I was supposed to throw the trash out. I completely forgot. And he did it all the time. People said it just smelled like hell.
That is crazy that from then on, Chargers have been known just as the passing team. Like, even as you sit in 2023, it's like, what do you got to watch out for the Chargers? Their passing game. Like, that's just crazy. Like, I don't know. That might have been ease off the grass thought right there. But, like, that's just like, I always think about that. It's like, like the teams that are like really dominant in these areas stay dominant.
Yeah.
It's a good point. How many pass catching running backs have the Chargers had? The most in the league, right? The last few years. Every running back the Chargers have catches out of the backfield. Fun team to watch. Obviously, no Super Bowls. Chargers are always entertaining, though.
They were entertaining. Have you guys ever watched, because you guys are younger and it's way before either one of you were born, have you ever watched the Dolphins Charger game from 1982? It was
not the whole thing.
Okay, but you know which game I'm talking about? People say it's the greatest game of all time. The one in the Orange
Kellen
Bowl,
Winslow.
the Kellen
Yeah.
Winslow game.
Mm.
Where Kellen Winslow's blocking kicks and he's passing out and they have to pull him off the field and it's crazy hot and he's just sweating like crazy. And I knew a guy on that Charger team and said, man, biggest mistake of my career was I wasn't one of the guys that carried Kellen off the field, because that picture shown everywhere of Kellen just dragging his feet and they're pulling his body off the field. But that game, when I was a little kid, I think I was, like, no joke, 10, 11 years old. And I remember watching that going, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And, it goes overtime, the whole deal. And then it still stands. It's going, that is the greatest game I've ever seen. Just insane. I mean, that Chiefs-Rams game on Monday Night Football a few years ago in the Coliseum, that was a crazy game too. But this one was a playoff game, and you go, man, that was something else. And they went from that heat in Miami where everyone's dehydrated and dying to playing in wind chill 57 below in Cincinnati the next week. And then Cincinnati's the one that wins that game and goes to the Super Bowl against the Niners. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, look at that turnaround. Crazy. Yeah. Still not over.
Jeez.
So no, dude, okay, speaking of all this, guys, do you believe in jinx? Do you believe that there are teams, like I talked about the Lions or the Cardinals?
100%.
The teams are like, it's just the way it is. You are jinxed.
100% believe in jinx.
Yeah.
Do you?
If it stays in ownership, yeah. Because it's always like, dude, that ownership, there's something wrong with that ownership.
Mm-hmm.
There's
the Chargers though had different ownership and they still were doing the same. They still act like they were cursed.
No, I think the city's cursed. San Diego's cursed, and it just leaked over to LA. So maybe they win in LA, but I think the city, San Diego, 100% cursed.
Yes,
and I have a reason why that I'm not going to get into on the show because it's very long-winded. But the city of San Diego is cursed.
Can we give a summary? Quick summary.
All right, I'll give you the cliff notes of why they're cursed. And this is 100% fact. Anybody can look this up.
Okay.
Back in like 1913, all right, there's a drought in San Diego. Okay. So the city of San Diego hired a rainmaker. Okay. And the guy said, yeah, a rainmaker, dude. A guy that can, swears he can make it rain. Not money, actually make it rain. And the guy says, don't pay me until I make it rain. And they're like, all right, fine. He made it rain so much, or, it rained. He thinks he made it rain so much that the city of San Diego flooded. And I think people died and businesses were ruined. And the city of San Diego said, you made such a mess. We're not going to pay you. And he said, you're not going to pay me. You said, if I make it rain, you'd pay me. And they said, you made too much trouble. Ever since then, I swear to God, San Diego's been cursed because they didn't pay this guy. If the city of San Diego finds that guy's family and pays him for the rain, we'll win. Padres will win.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
That was like some
That's
stuff
bigger than the goat
holes.
in Chicago. That's bigger. How about that? It is. That's bigger than the goat in Chicago right there. The whole thing of the curse of the goat. Yeah.
Okay, that's been.
Yeah.
But that's
Charles
Hatfield.
Okay. Anybody want to look it up? Charles Hatfield.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you right now.
The goat thing might be just a Midwest. Might be a Midwest thing. Because I've heard that that's a thing at IU. That's a thing at DePaul, the school I went to. Like that's like a 3 different places thing of the goat. And it's I've like there's always some old man too that's like, I was there. I'm like, sure you were. You're also like 6 whiskeys deep, buddy. So I'm sure you're in Vietnam and everywhere else in history. So, but yeah, that's I haven't heard of that one.
All right,
wait, hold on a second. Wait, hold on.
What?
Hold on. Wait,
What?
I mean, there are people trying to take goats into that many sporting events in your area. Is that what you're telling me, Mario?
There
people
was
trying to take a goat in an Indiana game and a Cubs game and a Notre Dame game, all that stuff.
I can't remember.
What's up with these guys?
Dude, there's some dark Notre Dame stories I could really tell you that I gotten confirmed as true. And I can only say off air, but there's some. I mean, whoo!
Wow,
them guys up there. All right. No, there was some IU thing. I'm really paraphrasing, and there's some IU thing where some goat was taken and then they killed it and then they hid it. Like they had parts everywhere. And that they only found certain parts, and then since then, IU's not won a championship. You could also blame it on, their coach going crazy and them recruiting not getting any better. But that was also a story. That was like a thing. I forget my school had a thing too where they killed, I think, a dog or cat, and then someone forgot to hide it, No, someone hit it, forgot where it was. Cops came, asked him where it was, and he was like, I got something bad to tell you. I don't remember what happened last night. And then, yeah. I'm paraphrasing a lot about everything that's happened.
Jesus.
And if you
Good
double check any
God.
of that, I'm sure I'm getting like a lot of
Yeah.
it wrong. But like
I'm
there's
sure he knows going to check it. PETA's going to check it. You're going to shut this
Yeah,
whole
I
podcast
mean,
down.
they should. They should. I think I'm like Spark Note. I've heard this story from multiple people. That was a Spark Notes. So
All right.
yeah. I'm leaving the States. Who cares?
All right. That's fine. That's
All
fine.
right,
God,
before we
dang,
get
talk
out of
about
here,
off the rails. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy right there.
Yeah,
Before we
I
go
got
any
you.
further, are you surprised that the Chargers have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on the top 100? Did you expect more? Did you expect less? Where they were ranked? Is that kind of what you guys expected?
Less.
Are you even watching the top 100? Are you guys looking at this at all?
See, here's the deal. I used to watch the top 100 when I lived with Josh. I have not watched the top 100. I'll be honest with you, but I thought it was
let me
less.
let me give you the guys that the Chargers have ranked. Okay.
Okay.
Eric Kendricks at 93, Joey Bosa at 70, Khalil Mack at 38. Wow. By the way, I don't know how we got ranked that high. Justin Herbert at 32, Derwin James at 30, Austin Eckler at 21.
Wow. Yeah. If I'm
And he-
Eckler, I'm even more angry that I'm not getting paid. You know what I mean? Aren't you?
Yeah.
Think about it. There are only 32 teams in the league, dude. You're number 21, right? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's
Incredible.
nuts.
Yeah.
That-
Justin Herbert's too far back, by
Yeah.
the way.
Derwin James is too far back. Do you tell me Derwin James is the 30th best player in the NFL? You give me a break, dude. The guy's arguably top 10 player in the NFL. Yeah.
Are they done? I'm sorry. Are they done with the top 100?
No, the
That's
top
right.
10's left. Yeah.
Okay.
Top 10's left. Mhm.
All right. So go, my question is, sorry, Mario, I'm going to cut you off.
There you
But on where these guys are ranked is how many safeties are ahead of Derwin James right now on that list?
Man, that's a good question. I got to look at it. I know Minka Fitzpatrick's ahead of him. I don't know. I got to look at it again.
Yeah. Sorry. But yeah,
Xavier.
it just seems kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased. I think he's the best safety in the league. I think him and Minka are the two best for sure.
There's no safety ahead of him. There's no safety
There isn't?
ahead of him. Oh.
Where's Minka ranked? Is he's behind him?
Let me look
Minka's
right
18.
now.
Minka's number 18.
He is?
Wow.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I didn't click the next page.
And the Dolphins gave him away.
Dolphins gave him away, which was crazy at the time
The
too.
Dolphins gave away Laramie Tunsil too.
They got a lot for him though. Minka,
Yeah,
I feel
but
like
I
they
mean-
really just gave away.
It's the Mac thing was really surprising to me. Was
Me
very,
too.
very surprising. I couldn't get over the Mac thing. There's a couple in there. I mean, Fields being 96. I know I joked about that before, but that actually really did surprise me. I was like, well, okay.
Dude, he's
yeah.
higher than 96. He's at like
He's 80?
86. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
he's
ahead of
probably
Trevor
86.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy. How's he ahead of Trevor Lawrence? What the hell?
That I really don't know. Like this, I mean, it's voted on by players. This is not, is it? Like it's 100% players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100,
let's do the
players
players.
vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
also,
86. Nuts.
Is this any sport that would be harder to do this? Like in basketball, it's so much easier because it's a more individual
the
sport.
rosters are small. too.
Rosters are
Yeah.
small. There's a lot of positionless players now in the league. Baseball, it's a lot easier. Like in NFL, I'm like, dude, how are you supposed to tell me a right tackle is better than a running back? Like that's incredibly hard to like measure.
Mhm. I'm with you on that. They're talking about these guards on the show. Dude, I have no idea who this is. You know,
Yeah.
there's how much of a difference this guy makes. Like I didn't even know what team this guy was on. You know, I couldn't. I can't even. I don't even know how people judge the offense and defensive line. And that sounds sad because I played football. I swear to God, I don't even know how they judge it so well. Like how you know what this guy was supposed to do on this play. You're not in the playbook. I don't know how they
Sure.
judge these guys. That's why PFF gets so much hate. But I watched this top 100. This guy's a dog. I've never heard of him. Yeah, I'm with you, Mario. I don't know how they judge, how they base these guys.
Especially defense too. Because I think offense it's a little bit easier because if they pull and you're like, oh, they'll get the landing cleared, whatever. But like defensive tackle too, it's like, yeah, you just went into a double team, you didn't do anything, but it's like, all right, but you didn't see the freaking linebacker that came underneath or like, you know, whatever design. It's like don't like you look like a dumbass, and then like some other guy gets all the credit, and you're just sitting there going, "All right, go back to the bench now."
Funny you say this,
Well,
dude. I read up on
yeah.
defensive line rankings, and they're
Yeah.
talking about the top 18 defensive tackles. But who the hell watched this much film to rank the top 18 defensive tackles? And how could you tell me one guy is, first off, the most boring film of all time? How could you tell me that this guy is a great run blocker, not a great pass? Like, dude, you're going to look at everything he does. I don't know how they put so much time into that stuff, man. I get so bored. So bored.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that watches the
Eric
ball.
Weddle used to tell me this. Eric Weddle used to tell me this all the time because there'd be times where it looked like the Charger safety got burned, and he was saying that wasn't my assignment. That was his assignment.
Yeah.
He would tell me. So you even in situations where you're going, well, how hard it could be to figure out what a cornerback and a safety are doing. Weddle said it happens all the time. But then people, he goes, I drive home listening to people call Charger talk, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They'd blame. People have no idea what your assignment is on every play. Things change on purpose. Anyway, it's interesting.
Build off that, Dave. There's a football analytics guy, Warren Sharp. He's great. His analytics are great. Knows a ton about the game, but as everyone knows, sometimes the analytics falls short. And like you said, Josh, like knowing your role in a play and in a coverage, and there was a thing of Parsons when he faked to rush, and then he just went back into coverage to the left side, and he goes, "Look at this." Look at what he's doing, and the ball's going the other way, not aware of where the football is, just ripping him a new one. And everyone goes, yeah, that's because of the freaking coverage. He's doing his job. His job's to maintain this. That's again, where it's hard to understand the game. We're all right, that's the guy's duty is to be at that spot. If he's going to sprint on the other side of the field, numbnuts, the quarterback's going to pick up on that, and they're screwed. So, yeah. Inside baseball right there, guys.
I don't want that job of watching film, dude. It's on the defense at least. No way.
Real quick, because I don't know the final 10. All right, in the top 100. So the Chargers don't have anybody in the top 10, obviously, right? There's no one left. The Chiefs, I'm guessing, right? Mahomes and Kelsey haven't been called yet.
No, they haven't. Mario, you know better than me. Has Chris Jones been called?
No. Wait, let me check right now.
Dude,
I don't think he has. Dude, he was really freaking good last year.
I know, but dude, come on, 3 guys in the top 10 in our division on one team.
I'm only getting. I'm not getting the leading up to 10 for some reason on this site. I don't know why it's not giving me that.
I don't get it either. But they haven't called him yet. He's in the top 10.
Yeah, he's probably in the top 10. He should. He's really good. I bet Mahomes is number 1.
I might be able to rattle off the top 10. So the 10 guys they haven't named yet. Those 3 on the Chiefs: Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Micah Parsons, Justin Jefferson. I don't know.
Chase?
Is Aaron Donald in there?
Jamar Chase has been named so far. Aaron Donald's number 11. No, hold on. Aaron Donald's
11. Wow.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody else.
What did they put Cooper Kupp? He barely played last year.
Yeah, they named him already. I don't know exactly what.
Devontae Adams.
They named him too already.
Max Crosby.
Yep, he got named too.
Do you guys want to hear
Devontae
this?
Adams is number 13.
The segue a little bit off this, but I just got this notification. I feel like this is something that could be really cool for a pod. Richard Sherman is now in the new seat for Undisputed against why am I forgetting his name?
Bayless?
Yeah, Bayless against Bayless. He's replacing Shannon Sharp.
Dude, it's the only time Bayless has ever been embarrassed, big time, was when Richard Sherman went after him. I love that one. I thought Bayless wasn't going to take that gamble. That's a good move, dude.
That's a great move.
It's a great move, dude. Sherman's going to, dude, I hate to say it, dude. I never thought I'd watch that show. I will watch that show just to watch Sherman tear Skip Bayless apart. He'll be prepared.
He's not going to back down. Not at all.
No, he's almost too intelligent for it.
That's it. People always think Sherman's a dumb guy. He's a genius. This guy's
really
crazy smart.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Aaron Andrews fumbled that interview after the game?
Yeah.
With Richard Sherman?
Yeah.
He was talking all game. Who? Michael Crabtree. You know, watching this? Yeah.
Dude.
I showed my girlfriend that. She's like, oh, God, that's so bad.
Is it crossing the line for Crabtree to go, hey, I want my necklace back, but you can keep it now that I saw what you and your brother did to that football coach? You guys see the story that came down today?
What?
Aqib Talib. Did you see the whole story of Aqib Talib and his brother? His brother got 38 years in prison today for shooting that coach, and Aqib Talib was standing right there. They're both coaching. The youth football coach last year. You guys aren't aware of this story?
No.
And they got into an argument coaching the youth football game, and Talib's brother pulled out a gun and shot the guy 5 times. Yeah, it's all over the place. And so if I'm Crabtree, I'm like, I guess I got off lucky. They just took my necklace. Yeah.
Well, do
it's
we
a
want
dangerous family.
Can we end it on a happier note than that? You got anything else in the corner, Dave?
I got nothing.
Got nothing?
I got nothing. That's it. I thought you were about to hit me something. Hit me with something that's weird. Is this weird? You got into? Is this weird?
I did have a good one the other day. I don't think I remember to write it down. I'll just say this. I'm moving right now. Dude, I get involved in too many fantasy leagues. That happens to me every year. Like somebody from work hit me up wanting to be in their fantasy football league. I said yes right away. It's a 12-man league, $50 buy-in. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna forget to set my lineup by week 2. I am so not gonna be locked in. But it happens to me every year. I join like 5 leagues where I only care about one. I lose, and I always forget to pay. I'm always the last one to pay, not on purpose. Just like I literally forget. If you don't stay on my ass with that stuff, I'm gonna forget. Not a cheap person, not a bad person on some days, but like I'm just gonna mess that up.
Yeah.
I'm moving.
Well, it's funny. I just right before we joined the show, I was just asked to join a fantasy football league, and first question out of my mouth is this a Yahoo league or ESPN league?
Yeah.
And they go, it's ESPN. I go, I'm out. I'm not doing ESPN leagues. I don't even let you name your team. I don't need Dave's dazzling team. You know what I mean? I'm out.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. I never go over and check ESPN when it comes to fantasy sports. Dude, Yahoo, it's the only thing they do well on Yahoo is that fantasy football league. And if it's not Yahoo, man, I'm out. Don't ask me to be in your league if it's ESPN. It's a joke. I'm a guiding unicorn as my freaking team logo, please.
God
damn. I mean, you can't name your own team because what? Mickey Mouse gets offended? It's ridiculous.
All right. Well, there goes that sponsorship.
Dude, I hate to say it. They're already the enemy. All right.
The last thing to say is I got hit with leaving, and my family overreacted and gave me like a book, like saying, "Hey, good luck in Chicago," all that stuff.
Had to win friends and influence people to give you that book.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, funny enough, my grandpa probably meant this in the nicest way, but like they give me this book, has letters from like everyone in my family, whatever, and found out. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of things. By the way, a lot of things my sister remembered that I said to her when she moved away that I was like, I don't recall saying that. She's, yes, you did. I'm like, all right, whatever. But my grandpa goes, you need to be a true Hoosier kid. And I was like,
what's that supposed to mean?
Like a true Hoosier kid, like a true kid from Indiana. And he hands me like an encyclopedia of Hinkle Fieldhouse. And this puppy's like 500 pages long. And he goes, just in case you need to talk about something on air to run out, you can just talk about the history of Hinkle Fieldhouse. And a part of me really wants to read the full thing in like 2 days and just run through it like randomly on shows to piss people off.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You're going to throw June one before you leave?
I should. She sent me a very nice message. She told me that she said I won't need to worry about chasing women because they'll chase me. So shout out to June for that one.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Shout out to June for that one.
She should write for Hallmark.
Really nice.
She should.
Yeah.
So
That's true. That's true. There you go. All right, let's get out of here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Train wreck. All right. Thanks again.
Mario,
what are you gonna say?
No,
we're all over the place.
That's what it is. It's August 7th. That's grass.
All right. Again, thanks for writing on YouTube. I love the comments. It's always a blast for us. We do have a big discussion coming up on the next show, by the way, that we've already started working on. So excited about that. But again, Chargers are getting closer again, as we were talking about preseason. And then it gets going for real, man. Then we're all sitting there talking about how every game's life and death, even though it's week 1. Looking forward to it. So leave your comments on YouTube if you're watching. Again, if you're listening through the Odyssey podcast app, fantastic. Again, you're listening to the Bolt City podcast. For Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you next time.